Thank you. Pull up the screen, put it in present mode. Okay, perfect. Okay, welcome to tonight's presentation. We're really excited to share this information to you. I'm so glad you were able to jump in the call. And we're going to be talking tonight about biohacking with nutrigenomics, right? And this whole concept of activation, not supplementation, right? Nutrigenomics, that may sound like a mouthful, but really what that is it's nutra, like nutrition, and genomics refers to our genes and how nutrition affects our genes. So we're using nutrients to affect our genes in a positive way. And so if you look around today, we live in the most, I don't know, we have everything at our fingertips, right? We have all the modern conveniences, we have all the medicines, all the hospitals, all the pharmaceuticals we could possibly want. We can get our vegetables any time of year, right? But why do we feel so off as a society? So I just want to give you a couple statistics about, what's going on out there. And we have about 54% of our children have chronic and autoimmune today. Autism is on the rise. It's like 1 in 30 children have autism. Those statistics used to be like 1 in 2 children, one in like 1,200 children in the 70s. So it's narrowing down so dramatically. Infertility affects 1 in 8 couples, 1 in 2 women will get cancer, right? And it just goes on and on and on and on. Heart disease is the leading cause of death. We have the highest rates in America. And if you talk to your neighbor and you just get in a conversation, you're going to find out that they're not doing so well. They're lethargic, they're tired, they have no energy, they have mood swings, right? Or they have something going on or some kind of autoimmune or some kind of thyroid disorder, right? And so I want you to kind of look around our society and see that we actually live in a hijacked environment, and that's why. So we didn't have these big factories. That's not how our original design was. And so there's over 80,000 toxic chemicals introduced to society since the Industrial Revolution. And just one of those is glyphosate. And that alone is wreaking havoc on our gut and our whole microbiome, right? We're eating vegetables. We're thinking we're doing something great for our body. But look at this guy. He's wearing a hazmat suit just to be in the vegetable garden to get the vegetables ready for the market, right? Then we have our like high processed, sugary foods, sedate lifestyle, stress from work. Of course, our news tries to keep us stressed with fear porn 24/7, lack of sleep, fuel emissions, right? And alcohol. And I always kind of like to interject here because alcohol, if you get a really clean wine, you don't have any hangover whatsoever. It's really the toxins in the wine, just like these sprays, they spray the grapes in the fields and all the things that go into the process of making it. It's more that is causing the that hangover that we feel the next day after drinking too much wine. So what all of that does, all those things I just showed you in those previous pictures, they create something called oxidative stress. So, and what oxidative stress feels like, it feels like chronic fatigue, no energy, the brain fog, right? The lack of concentration. We can't remember things. You have headaches, right? Maybe you're getting sick often in your house. Some houses more than others, they're just like constantly bombarded with one sickness and then another and then riding into another. And oxidative stress, if we're to give you a visual, I like this concept of cutting an apple and putting it on the counter. And you'll just see that it's browning over time. And just picture like the longer it sits there, the more it's going to brown and crumple and decay. That's oxidative stress. And it's a great visual example. And then over here is kind of like the example of what oxidative stress is on our cells, right? And I love this. And this is really relevant to this time. That's why I put this slide in here. This beautiful woman on the left is Dr. Casey Means, and she is a specialized surgeon. And she is someone who walked away from her career. That's how relevant the information that we're going to share with you today, right? And a lot of people say, let me go ask my doctor about what I'm hearing tonight. Well, I'm going to tell you about Dr. Casey Means because she was a specialized surgeon and she realized that they did not understand how to help people. All they were doing is prescribing medications, upping the doses, and treating the body as individual parts that were not related to each other, not connected, and then operating on them. So she was a surgeon and she was operating on a very specific region of the body. And what she did is she threw her hands up in the air and she walked out on her whole career because she was so fed up with just this whole um, this whole charade of our sick care system, right? They were not getting root cause. She'd be operating on someone's, I think she was somewhere like in the like nose area of the body, operating in that sort of esophagus area. And she would realize her patients had heart disease. They were seeing a heart specialist doctor. They had some other disease and they were seeing a specialist for that disease. And they had a whole cascade of things. Meanwhile, they're going to her for some surgery. And she started to ask, what is the root cause? What's going on here? How can we actually help them? And so, like I said, she walks away from her career. And this is a book that was just published earlier this year. It's called Good Energy. And everything in this book is like what we're going to tell you about tonight. And that I just want to point that out to show you that we've been so far. This company, the activation company, has been so far ahead of the game in pioneering this information to the world. So all the words she uses as root cause here, talking about it's all in the cells, it's all in the mitochondria, it's in oxidative stress is the root cause of all disease, right? That's the language we're going to talk about tonight. And it's honest doctors like Dr. Casey that are grabbing hold of actually healing can really get behind this idea of what we're talking about with activation. So, Lindsay, you want to take it from here?
Yes. So I want to talk about, Andrea talked about Dr. Casey Means and how she's talking about all of this today. She alluded to LifeVantage has been behind this for a long time, right? Back in 2003, LifeVantage launched Protandim NRF2, the little yellow pill, the little activator that activates a very specific pathway in our cells, the NRF2 pathway, which is our master antioxidant pathway, our master detox pathway. And all of these things are tied, I'm sorry, oxidative stress is tied to all of these diseases, right? And so if we can activate this pathway, we can help with some of those things. So 2 years later, in 2005, ABC Primetime Investigative Report did a special on Protandim NRF2. The host, John Quinones, he went on it. He went on the pill. They tested his blood at the beginning, and then they tested it 14 days later. And what they found was his levels of oxidative stress at 14 days were already decreased to the 40% or by 40%. And so they went out to look at this claim that LifeVantage had put out that Protandim NRF2 can decrease oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. They went out expecting to bust this myth, right? But what they found is that his levels actually decreased twice as fast, right? And I think to this day, he is still taking this. And so fast forward today, we look at how oxidative stress is literally tied to every chronic disease that we know of. You can go on PubMed and you can search for heart disease and oxidative stress, and you're going to get a whole list of research articles on that. When Protandim NRF2 was first launched, there were only 5,000 studies that were done linking oxidative stress or free radicals to chronic disease. Fast forward today, there are, I know this slide says 318,000, but there are over 320,000 or 330,000 studies right now that are done on oxidative stress and chronic diseases. So now we look at what is the deal with this little yellow pill? Really, it's not a pill like you think of, like that you're going to go to your doctors and get, right? This is a pill that is made of 5 common herbs that God gave us, that we have around us, but it's done so beautifully in such synergy and at actually very low doses that they are far more effective than if you were to try to take them on their own. So if you were taking on 5 of these, you're not going to get the same benefits. And that's part of the difference between activation and supplementation. When you look at these 5 things, if you were to take all of those together, when you're looking at how you're taking them with Protandim NRF2, they're 18 times more effective when you take them in this synergy. Okay, so the ABC News investigative report got a lot of attention from a lot of different research articles and a lot of different research institutions. And so they went and they funded their own studies on Protandim NRF2 And now we have over 28 peer-reviewed studies that are out there on PubMed. And those have been done by Ohio State, by Harvard, by Vanderbilt University, by the American Heart Institute. And so we have all of these institutions that have nothing to gain by doing these studies, but they're doing these studies and they're finding that this works and it's doing what it says.
I love that.
Okay,
Sorry, I still
so
get nerded out by this.
I do too. I
Yeah.
do too. I love the science on this one. So we have protandim NRF2 that we've talked about. It reduces oxidative stress by 30 days. But LifeVantage didn't stop there. They looked at what else can we activate in our body, right? And so then they looked, and we have the NRF1 synergizer, which is going to restore and regenerate the mitochondria in our cell, which is the powerhouse of our cell. We also have the NAD synergizer, which is going to increase our sirtuins by 100% in 24 hours. And we look at this and we're not working. I love this quote. This makes me so happy. We're no longer working with symptoms. We're working on the systems in our body and switching them on with nutrigenomics so that we can really get to the root cause of these diseases. So, I read a statistic the other day that in our day-to-day life, we are exposed to 13 sextillion free radicals every day. So that is a 13 with 36 zeros behind it every single day. And if we look at antioxidants that we can take in, so our exogenous antioxidants, things that we can take in from, say, blueberries or vitamin C, we can take those and it's basically a 1-to-1 ratio. Like we take in that antioxidant, it can get rid of one free radical. So we're never going to get what we need. If we can look at our body and the way that our body can make these antioxidants, we can make them much more efficiently and much more effectively. So it's like 1,000,000 to 1. And if you look at the images here, imagine trying to put a house fire out with a Dixie cup or a bucket of water. You're just never going to get there. You can try, but you're never really going to get to the source of the fire and you're not going to put it out. It's going to spread faster than you can put it out. But if you can get the fire department and all of the firefighters looking at that fire and trying to put that fire out together, they're going to put it out so much more quickly.
I love it. And they know where
And
the fire is, that source of the fire, right?
right. Right. And then we can look at what happens after the fire, right? The insurance company comes in, they rebuild your house, right? That's kind of like what our mitochondria are doing, right? They're the powerhouse. They're getting it rebuilt. And then NAD, our sirtuins come in and they're in there, they're getting rid of all the junk, right? All the junk that's left over from the fire. They're just going to toss it out. They're going to clean it up so that we can get in there and we can rebuild.
Hmm.
Okay, this is where I come in. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. So the company was like, okay, we've got these activators. What else can we do with activating nutrigenomics? What can we do to help our DNA do what it was meant to do? So, yes, they worked for 2 years to create an activator for weight loss. And the beautiful thing is it doesn't just do weight loss, but it's patent pending, which just means that what it says it's doing. And so that is pretty great. There's the science to back it. So they were able to submit everything for that. So our system is the mind body system because it connects the gut and the brain together. It's the first to market natural product. It's scientifically shown to increase the GLP-1 hormone in your body. The dual activation piece is that the MB core activates your GLP-1 hormone naturally. It tells your body to do it. You won't ever find GLP-1 synthetic hormones in the ingredients. You'll find the synergistic herbs to tell the body to make the GLP-1 on its own. Because if you were to equate that to insulin, we would rather make our own insulin in our body than take insulin like through a shot. Our insulin is going to be so much more effective than something synthetic, right? So it's the same with GLP-1. If we can make our own GLP-1, our body can use it so much more efficiently than if we were to take something else. So when you look at that. That's the MB core. And then the dual activation means that we also help your body to make the receptors for the GLP-1. So that can go all over your body. If you look at the slide, you have the gut, the liver, the brain, the heart, the kidneys, the pancreas, the fat cells. You have the stomach, you have the muscles. Those receptors are all over your body. So activating your GLP-1 doesn't do just one thing, it does a whole bunch and heals your body in different areas. So we have receptors in all of those areas, which is why we have the dual synergizer. So this is just the science. The human clinical trials that our science team did saw massive results. They saw a 95% reduced sugar craving. People were down 9 pounds in an average of 9 pounds in 8 weeks, 25 pounds average loss in 12 weeks, which is huge. 11% total body weight loss, up to 27% in visceral fat loss, which that's nuts to me. That one just always gets me every time. It's like telling your body to expand it. It's just so much bigger. It helps to balance the hunger hormones. And so then that starts to talk to your brain. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we lost you
Okay.
for a second, but you're back, girl.
Okay, my internet is so unstable, but we're traveling, that's why. Um, anyway, so it helps to balance your hunger hormones. It strengthens the gut-brain axis, meaning that your stomach and your brain are talking. It's like you activate self-control at this time, and your brain is starting to tell your body what your stomach needs, and your stomach is telling your brain what it needs. So they're talking together again, which normally they're not. They should be. That would be natural, but in most cases, they're not talking. So it also helps to maintain a balanced blood sugar, which an off blood sugar, an unbalanced blood sugar, is a huge root cause of so many health issues. It also optimizes your gut microbiome. So it helps to create that healthy gut, which we know is also connected to so much disease. You can go to the next slide, Andrea.
Oh, you missed something really big here, girlie.
Oh,
This is the human clinical trial. I dropped it in there. That was the night. Do you want to go for it?
go for it. I don't know what you're gonna
Yeah.
hit, so go for it.
So they did that human clinical study where we got all these numbers from, like the 140% average that increases the GLP-1 hormone by 140%. They saw an average weight loss of 8 pounds in the first, 9 pounds in the first 8 weeks, and then 25 pounds after 12 weeks. And so that's kind of key right there, because this isn't just like losing weight. It's like resetting your whole body. All the things that Erin was saying that it does, it does. And the cool thing is it's setting the perfect foundation for your body. So you see an average weight loss of 1 pound a week, the first 8 weeks, but now the body is set and revved up. And then you start seeing an average weight loss in those last 4 weeks of about 4 pounds a week, which is huge. So a 16-pound weight loss in the last month.
That must
So
have been where
trust
my internet dropped out. I did talk about that.
I actually, you know what? I'll just talk here for a second, because this is my before and after picture. I love this product with every fiber of my being. It's one of my favorite. All of our activators, I've been working with this company for 6 years, so I've seen downright miracles happen with activation. It's literally like your body going to work healing itself. And this activator is literally, you feel it working the moment you try it. So for me, it was exactly what Erin said. It was like immediate self-control. It was like, the CEO of my brain took over the body, and all of a sudden it was easy to make decisions like, I'm not going to snack before dinner. I'm not going to eat sugar. I think I'll pass on dessert tonight. I think I don't need seconds. I think I'm full and I don't need to finish all of my plate. Like there's no anxiety towards food, or even that guilt that we have, like, well, I should finish it because I did put this on my plate, right? None of that. And so my results were 11 pounds down in the first 4 weeks of being on this. And I've just maintained that. So I'm down like another 1-2 pounds since then. But we also saw just like a more toning and more definition.
Mhm.
My husband pointed that out to me. He's like, you're a little less blobby and a little more defined. I was like, oh, thanks. um And then that gut brain axis is so, so powerful. So I'll let you talk to that a little bit, Lindsay.
Erin, I think you were going to talk about the gut brain axis, right?
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry. That's okay. Yeah, no, because there's receptors for GLP-1 in your brain, when we are telling our body to make those, to make that GLP-1 and to open up those receptors at the same time, everything starts to talk again. And so it's like, I think somebody else said this. I think Shauna said it. She said it's like somebody took a little good angel and set him on her shoulder again and like kicked off the other one, and she was just able to like make all of these like wise decisions for her body and listen to what her body was asking for instead of what she was, you know, previously craving. Like she says she went on vacation with her husband, and instead of having her own dessert every time, she didn't forego enjoying dessert. She just had like a bite. She didn't need the whole thing. She just had a
Think we lost Lindsay, Erin for a second. Gosh, I keep getting your names mixed up tonight, and I do not know why, girls.
That's okay. I
Um,
can talk about these before and afters.
yeah, go for it.
These before and afters are really, really impressive. So I love Angie's story because she was someone who really she was doing all the right things, right? She worked out all the time. She was watching what she was eating. She was balancing her macros, but she was kind of stuck. She had
blue
plateaued.
line.
She had made a lot of improvements, but um like I said, she was stuck. So she started on this system and she just started having such great results. And it kind of broke her through that plane. And at 6 weeks, she was down 9 pounds total. She had lost 10 inches, 4 inches just in her waist. And so her story is really cool. And then here you can see Marcy's pictures. You can just in that very first picture on the left there, you can see it in her stomach so much. You can see it across all of her pictures too, but just awesome before and after pictures here.
You know what? I just want to interject here real quick, Lindsay, because the stomach pictures are so fantastic. And when my aunt was actually on one of the synthetic ones that you inject into your body, and every time you force something on your body, you're going to have negative side effects. You're forcing a process, you're trying to cheat the system. And my aunt and I have other friends, they're like, I'm not losing the belly weight on the synthetic, right? The drug. Another thing my aunt shared with me is you lose muscle mass with the synthetic drugs, right? And they're dropping a lot of weight, but they're losing a lot of muscle. And with this one, we're seeing a lot in the stomach. That's where it's going away first. And then we're seeing a lot more toning and definition and tightness and muscle. So sometimes there's even weight gain because there's more muscle mass.
Mm-hmm.
And Erin's back.
I'm back, you guys. I'm so sorry.
Yay.
No, I was gonna say that the studies were indicating the human clinical study that our science team did said that there was 100% muscle retained, not lost. Nothing was lost. And
I love that.
so, and that's a huge thing for heart health too. So I just got to throw that out there, being the nurse that I am. I also love this picture. Do you guys see this dress? She didn't lose a single pound, not a single one. She's not lost any weight, but you can see that she's lost inflammation. She's lost that visceral fat. Her whole body is like trimmed up really nicely. And that's my story. I'm not losing a single pound, but I've lost 13 inches in my waist. And so I can't totally speak to that, but it's clear that it's resetting the systems in my body, and my body is responding really, really well to it. So that's what some people are seeing. Then there's Shauna right in the middle, lovely Shauna. We just love her. She like her body did exactly what the human clinical trial did. And she is down 20 pounds in 7 weeks. And she's just rocking it. She feels so good. And her husband right next to her, he's also down 19 pounds in 4 weeks and just feels so, so great.
Yeah, those two had fantastic results, like really, really quick.
They did. So this is kind of what we were talking about with you can be 130 pounds and have 20% body fat or 35% body fat, and you will look very, very different. And it also depends on if you have muscle. Like if you're gaining muscle, your weight is going to go up. Also, if you're retaining your muscle, your weight is going to stay the same, but you're going to lose that inflammation. You're going to lose that visceral fat. That percentage is going to go down. And so you will also look different. There's also the fat cell. As you change your diet with the help of the GLP-1, that fat cell is going to start to shrink. But because the body is working, it's going to fill it back up with some water, but then ultimately you're going to lose that water weight also, and that fat cell will shrink and go away.
So it's
So
a
then
lot
you'll
about
see it.
trusting that process, right?
Yeah, huge amounts. So this is Amber and this is Leanne. Leanne cracks me up because she's done a weight loss journey, but she's from Louisiana and she goes, "Excuse me, well, I'm just over here feeling my belly." She's like, "I just am feeling myself all over. I feel so different."
Oh
But
my
she's
God.
had really great success with it also. And then Amber, you can just her pictures speak for themselves, down 7 pounds and 8 inches.
And that was 4 weeks. That was
Yeah.
incredible. And she's a mom of 7, like
Yeah.
feeling awesome. These are just some, oh, go for it. Sorry. These are just some testimonials from how people are feeling,
Mhm.
with having control over their food intake and their body and their choices in life. And I've got to say, I don't know if you guys do this, but my sleep is like extremely deep. It's amazing.
Mhm. Yeah. I feel like I'm getting better sleep. I'm not getting more sleep, but I'm quality of sleep. That's a big thing for me. I'm also feeling like my digestive system is reset, so I feel healthier overall. And when I exercise, I can do the same exercise I did, like, I don't know, 2, 3 months ago, and I would be winded and tired. And now I do that same exercise and I feel really good, even though I wasn't continuing with that consistently in between. I feel different. I feel more capable, like way more capable.
I love that. Here's just a couple more pics.
The guys always crack me up. They got like the instant toning. They look phenomenal. Everyone that we've seen.
Love it. So I wanted to talk to this too. So we talked about our activators. We talked about NRF2, our flagship product that came out in 2003. We talked about how we didn't stop there. We started activating the mitochondria, turning it on into this cellular healing system of the body, right? Also NAD. Another example I like to give, because I'm a mom of 8 kids, I like to tell people that like in 9 or 10 months, we're creating a whole human. That's what our body is capable of doing. So I want you to understand like how the power that we're tapping into with the body is incredible. It's the systems that God made, and we're not forcing any kind of process. We're just turning it on. And so a couple years ago, before our GLP-1 came out, we launched a collagen. We were a little behind the market, and we didn't understand, what was the significance of collagen. Usually people think hair, skin, and nails, but we started to understand as this product launched that of all the 20,000 or so different proteins in the human body, there's one that dominates more than any other. And so without collagen, our cells would simply collapse in on themselves, our skeleton and blood vessels would disintegrate, and we'd be a little more than blobs. So that's really significant. It makes you really think about the collagen in the body, and then how it's so much more than that. So yes, it does affect our nails, but it has to do with our eye health and our liver and our heart, right? The quality of sleep, our brain, it has so much collagen in it. Of course, our bones, the tissue repair, the cushioning of the joints, right? Muscle recovery and hair loss. And so I want to talk to you about the liquid collagen we came out with, because it is an activator. It's the only activated liquid collagen only activated collagen on the market. But it has sort of three layers to it. It's an activator like our other products, where it's turning the body on to make collagen again. It's replenishing, so that's sort of like a supplemental approach. And then it has antioxidants to maintain the collagen we have. And so what we use is the red quinoa extract. That's the natural product we're using to activate the collagen. And we're boosting that extra collagen production 5 times. And it's actually turning on those antioxidants, much like NRF2, that first product. It's turning on the antioxidants. One of them is superoxide dismutase. And that is like a Pac-Man that goes through your body like this, and it gobbles up all the free radicals. It just goes and like eats them up real fast. And it's one of the most powerful antioxidants in the body, and it increases it by 2,700%, as well as some other ones, right? So super masterfully healing. This is just a quick graphic showing the collagen density and how it doubles in the 8 weeks time. We replenish it. So this is like the supplemental factor. It's a marine-based collagen because marine is it's the most well sought after collagen supplement, right? And we're taking it from the tilapia because we're not taking the meat. The tilapia meat it's not known for its like nutritional value, but where we're taking the collagen from, the collagen peptides, it actually comes from the scales. And the scales of the tilapia are so rich with the collagen peptides, and it has the widest variety. So it's not just like one. Most collagens will supplement one or two, maybe three types, and this one has 10 types of collagen that are um, targeting different areas of the body, right? And then we have super antioxidants that are there to help you maintain the collagen that you have. And then what's not in it is super important too. So there's no added sugar, no sweeteners, no GMO. It's dairy-free, gluten-free. Everything is checked for heavy metals, every single batch. And then why liquid? Well, liquid helps to be absorbed. It's absorbed a lot better than the powder. So sometimes you see a powder and, a lot of the ones on the market are so highly laden with heavy metals. But also, if you were actually to talk about the absorption level, you probably have to take 4 times the powdered collagen that you're getting just to meet what you're getting with the liquid collagen. So in the end, you're not really saving money.
Yeah, so there's so much that you can learn about collagen, right? And what it does for your body and all of the different pieces and parts that it's going to help with. And we can talk about this all night, but I think that documentation and seeing the differences for yourself is going to be anything that we can talk about. So let's look at some of these before and afters. On the left, I think you look at her and you can see it in her face. Like she's just that her crow's feet are lessened. You can see the lines around her smile are a lot less deep. And then you look at the picture on the right, her décolleté, like that's where kind of the area everyone forgets about, like, right? Like we worry about our face and sometimes people remember to take care of their neck, but nobody thinks about this part. And that's like your secret sign of aging. But look at the difference that made for her. And this is probably one of my favorite pictures, my favorite before and afters I've ever seen. This is Betty. She took the collagen for, I think it was 11 months. But if you look at where she started to where she was at month 11, it is night and day.
I don't even have it here, but even her 30-day picture is so incredible. We just couldn't fit them all in there. So we left out her 30-day, but it's like already a difference.
Yeah. Oh, and you can see it in these ladies' necks too. Like they're so much tighter and you can see everything that's happening. Here's some men pictures. It makes such a big difference for men too. Some people forget about that, but guys, this is important to guys too.
And also the eye lifts. There's a lot of eye lifts happening. And then, like I call it the dead fish look because my husband and I were chefs. So, like that's not a fresh fish. You don't want it. You're always looking at the eyes. And a lot of our people on the collagen, their eyes just came alive, right? Like they
Mm.
got eye lifts, and then the color, how much more vibrant it is, both in the white part, but also in the color part is just like phenomenal.
Yes, yeah, and you can see that here, in her eyes right here. You can see her eyebrows filled in pretty well too, but you can see just her eyes are so much more clear. And then the legs, I mean, I don't even have to say anything about those. They're just, it's night and day there.
All the crepe gone.
Yeah, and then I know you've had kids, your belly is not what it was. I should have put my pictures in here. My 30-day
Oh,
pictures. I didn't think of that. But I'll send them if anyone wants to see them. But just the difference that it makes in helping to tighten up your belly is it hits home. I know for me it was something that I had like written off, like, nope, that's not gonna happen. Wasn't expecting it. And it was the best surprise.
You know what? Me too. I had 8 kids, but my first one is where I got all my stretch marks. And I was like a chronic dieter when I was like a teenager. And we stayed away from fats. We didn't know about good fats back then. We didn't it was all about, I don't know, it was so bad. But I have the worst stretch marks. And it's funny because I wanted to see results there right away. But with activation, your body is going to make the judgment of where to go first. right? So it was interesting. Like at first I was disappointed. I was like, hey, my belly is still the same. What's going on here? But it compounds over time. Like it's not done yet. And so I kind of give that analogy, like going back to the house with activation. It's like if, depending on how much time, like how much could a person get done in your house if you hired them to deep clean it? If you gave them an hour versus if you gave them 6 months to come in every single day and deep clean your house, like by the end of 6 months or a year, you'd probably have like an immaculate attic, an immaculate garage, and a clean basement, right? And so I actually started to see my stretch marks almost start to disappear. I still have some, but it's still like I mean, I could wear a bikini now and be more confident because it was from what it was to what it is, it's incredible. And I started to see that difference probably like 11 months in is when I like 11 months to 18 months is where I started to see that like really pick up there. So just to say like it compounds over time.
Yeah, definitely. And when you think collagen, you think hair, skin, nails. We've been looking at a lot of skin. But look at her hairline here. Look at the difference. And I think the story with her is like she didn't even necessarily recognize it in herself. She was sending a picture to her friend, and her friend was like, "Oh my goodness, look at your hair." Because she was trying to show the rest of her face, right? Like, look at all the improvements here. And her friend pointed out, look at your hair and look at the difference. And it's impressive. And then on the right, you can just see her face is so much, she's lost so many of the wrinkles on her face.
Oh my gosh.
And so think about like we've talked about how collagen is so important to your body and it's doing so many things for your liver, for your heart, for your brain. These are just the results that we can show you from the outside. And so think about if that's what it's doing on the outside, what's it doing on the inside? If that's how effective it is at getting rid of your crow's feet, how effective is it at helping your heart or helping your liver?
I love that. And actually, if I don't want to go too overboard, but there is just as an example of like what it's doing on the inside of the body. There is a gentleman, it's a video and it's super powerful, but it's a guy with Parkinson's disease and he's like shaking violently, like tremors really, really bad. And he's got a cane and he's trying to walk in the garage and he's trying to do some work and his wife is filming him from behind. And it's really a painful video to watch because his tremors are so terrible, but he is a month on this synergy right here, the flagship product, the NRF2 activator and the activated collagen. And then at 1 month, he's walking and he's still having tremors, but he's got a cane and he's walking and then he'll walk a little bit and there's some tremors and then he kind of goes back to walking and some tremors. And then 2 months in, he's walking without the cane, but there's still some kind of tremors there. And then the third month, he's running. His wife is filming him from behind. And you can cry watching it because these aren't vanity products. They're really working at the cellular level. And the body can rebuild itself, it can rejuvenate itself, it can heal itself. And it's not a guessing game because your body knows where to make the shot. So I was talking with a girl and she was like, well, how can this help me? I've been working with a functional medicine doctor for 5 years trying to figure things out with my MTHFR genetic mutations and everything, and he can't figure it out. So how is this going to help me? And I said to her, well, your functional medicine doctor is way smarter than I am, right? So I'm not gonna like say he's not trying, he's really working with you. However, your body is way smarter than that functional medicine doctor. And so if we can turn it on, you can start to see some real answers here. So that's always exciting. And then all of our products are working together with a further synergy. So everything's working synergistically, the NRF2 pathway. But when you pair, and that's the one that reduces oxidative stress 1% in 30 days. Well, if you do the three activators, the three blue bottles together, it reduces oxidative stress by 78% in just the first 30 days. And I've seen so many incredible things happen with that. I have a girlfriend on the Tri-Synergizer that was in chronic back pain for about 14 years. And then when she started taking this, she started to notice a difference after a month. But at 12 months, she was completely pain free. And this is a mom who like was in such chronic pain. Like you can hear her story in our wellness group, and it's absolutely profound. But really, her body getting to the point where all the inflammation can go away, and then it could start to heal. And then these two have a synergy together, where together they're shown to turn off that autoimmune response that the body has. It will actually take the body out of an autoimmune response. So super powerful there. And then that study is inside of our group. And then if you go to the website, you'll see, you know, there's the activators, and then there's some supplemental products. One that we didn't highlight today that is, you know, and we're almost remiss to not talk about it. It's called Axio. So think nootropic drink, but this one you can actually see the difference on a brain map when someone is drinking this drink. Like the neurological pathways are connecting, and it's like I had it tonight. It's phenomenal. It's amazing with children with autism, but also just moms for the concentration, focus, stamina. And then there's no crash or jitters. It's an incredible drink, and it's extremely healing. It's something that you're going to feel right away, as where NRF2, you may feel it, but really what it's doing is that deep work in your body that you may see results 3 months later or 4 months later. The Axio, you're going to see right away. This is our GLP-1 activator. And what you'll see at the website is you can buy the products individually, or they also have them bundled together for targeted health solutions. So, for example, this is called our Heart Health Activation Stack. This is our Vitality Stack. This one, it brings you back to life. I call this the health assurance plan because of what it does. And it has our two main activators, NRF2, NRF1, and then it pairs it with an omega and a probiotic. And it's just your all-around health for your body. So you'll see a little bit of that, but you can always get with your friend, your consultant, to kind of guide you where to go with it. But whatever choice you're going to make, always, like, you'll notice that in all the bundles that we have put together, and these are just a few examples, the one that is in all of the bundles is that Protandim NRF2, that NRF2 activator, because that's foundational for everything. That's like, let's put out the fire first before we go rebuild the house, before we do anything else. Let's go put out the fires. Let's get the antioxidants working just the way we did when we were children. So it's super exciting. It's a lot. It's a lot of information, but what I love about it is it's truly kind of takes away the mystery of disease and what's going on in our body. We always feel like it's so unique to us, or we have to go hunt down some specialist doctor to find out what's going on with us. And our approach is a little bit different. Like Lindsay said in that one slide, we're not looking at the symptoms and then trying to be like, okay, those are the symptoms, let's see what we can do. We're just saying, you know what, let's just get rid of the oxidative stress. Let's build up the mitochondria. Let's maybe get the collagen, up and running again. And you'll be amazed at what you'll see. So, and then for us, we know the science is there with these products because they're all patented. They do what they say they're going to do. At the same time, each one of you are so individual and so unique that it's your body that's going to work. So we're just as much in awe when people are activated as they are. We're like, I don't know, let's see. And so Erin, I don't know if you want to share your story with activation, Erin, but Erin was someone that was like praying for answers in her life. And yeah, I would love for you to share a little bit.
Sure. Hopefully my internet doesn't cut out. So I was on the edge of an autoimmune disorder. My doctors were telling me that, my chiropractor was telling me that, my symptoms were telling me that. I was right on the edge of that. And I just didn't know what to do next. I had tried all the things. I had tried every natural solution you can possibly think of. I had a gym membership, like I was at it. And one night I just felt desperate, but I was like kind of unexplainably filled with hope that my answer was coming. So I started praying for the person, which happened to be Andrea. I just started praying, like, whatever this is, just bring them here safely, whatever that means. And Andrea pulled in next to me at an RV park, and she shared with me what activation was. And it took me 0 seconds to decide that was exactly what I had been missing. I just knew, like, yep, activation, turn the miracle back on. We were designed amazingly well by a really, really, really good creator. And so I just knew, like, let's turn that miracle body back on and reset the health. And so I've been taking activators now for 7 months, and the mind and body product, our GLP-1 activator, has some ingredients that historically I have not been able to take without going into a borderline anaphylactic reaction. And I was able to take it, you guys. That's such a big thing for me. I was able to take all of those ingredients and not get sick. Lindsay watched me like a hawk, and just to make sure that didn't happen. And it's my body is reset itself. I actually found labs, like hospital labs, that prove all that in my life. So I think that's the thing. It's we're hitting the reset button, and we've been given this opportunity to to not tell our body, but to give our body the chance to hit the reset button and see what it does. And it's all there for us. It's all right there.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And then Kelly Fitzpatrick, I have to ask, is that Kelly Fitzpatrick that I met in Florida?
No, that's my sister-in-law.
Is that your sister-in-law?
Yeah.
Okay, that's so funny. I was curious about that. Oh, well, your
I was
sister-in-law
waiting
is
to
on
hear
it.
that you had met her somewhere. I was like, okay, where did you meet her?
Oh, that would be too crazy. Oh, I love that you're here. That's such a good Irish name.
Oh, that's
Oh,
so good.
that's so fun. Well, thanks so much for coming tonight, ladies. Do you want to ask any questions? You want to open it up to questions and answers?